Hi everyone, it's Jenny Dang. I recently found my favorite restaurant in Korea and they actually recommended this Korean barbecue speakeasy to me. So without further ado, let's see if Born and Bred is worth the travel. In the heart of Majang-dong, Korea's legendary meat district, lives a true Hanwoo icon. Born and Bred isn't just a restaurant. It's 40 years of Korean beef mastery fueling Seoul's finest tables since 1978. From my favorite 1 Michelin star Sobang to Korea's one and only 3 Michelin star Mingles. This is where the best get their beef. Today, I'm right at the source inside the hidden speakeasy of Born and Bred for the exclusive Hanwoo beef omakase. Not long after settling in, the room is already filled with the rich aroma of sizzling Hanwoo beef.
This is our first welcome dish over here. It's the Galbi tongue. We make the broth with the beef shoulder for 2 days. So it's very rich and thick. And also, the first one has the mushroom stuffing, and the other one has the rib finger meat with the chopped ginseng.
The morel mushroom soaked up all the broth, so every bite is incredibly juicy. The galbi tang is deep and full of beef umami richness with a touch of herbal notes.
And this one is our second welcome dish. It's a yukke. It's the Korean style of the beef tartare. So for the yukke here, we use the chuck tender, which is the front shoulder left part. So this one is the muscle moves a lot. It has a nice chewy texture. And also this dish is made with the cow's actual shoulder. And also we made the chili with the Korean chili, and also we put the top caviar. So please have a
The beef tartare is creamy with a sweet beef flavor, while the chip adds a spicy crunchiness and the caviar brings satisfying salty pops. But right at this moment, they tell me I can't film, so I don't have any shot of me holding the tartare. I was quite upset, but I understand that many restaurants doesn't allow filming. But shortly after, they allow me to film again, so I can continue showing you this experience. Yay! Prosciutto and melon is such a classic combo that I love, and this feels like a Born and Bred rendition of it. The fig is juicy and slightly tart, cutting right through the rich buttery beef ham.
This one is the tenderloin. It's the most soft and the mild flavor. And also I put the truffle from Europe. It's the autumn truffle. For the first bite, I don't recommend any salt or pepper.
Chateaubriand is my go-to cut for steak because it's balanced between buttery and soft, especially when it's perfectly medium rare like this. The truffle adds a lovely aroma to the ready umami steak.
The Hanwoo is a very well balanced. Is the sirloin is the end part of the loin. Compared to the tenderloin. also we put the yuzu mustard on top. So please try without the mustard first, and then you can put the mustard on.
Look at all these layers of fat. The sirloin just melts in my mouth, full of buttery, beefy goodness. Because of how fatty it is, the mustard cuts right through nicely, adding a little spicy tang.
We made a palate blender with this one. The rice inside, just mix it well. So it goes well with every garnish.
The juice is incredibly refreshing, washing away all the beef fattiness with its sweet melon freshness. I wish I had a full cup of this so I can sip on it throughout the meal.
The Hanwoo is the original Korean breed cow, and of course flavor and the sweetness. One is the skirt with the pickled melon. So please try without the pickle first, and then you can put the pickle.
The skirt is less fatty and slightly chewy, but still tender with a deep, bold beef flavor. Since their beef is so rich, I'm glad they provide a side of pickled napa cabbage to snack on in between. I enjoy the skirt by itself more, but the garlic sauce does add a nice sharpness.
Okay, so this part is the tenderloin chain. So it's the connecting tissue between the tenderloin and the spine. So it has a mild flavor like a tenderloin, and also the little bit of texture like resistance your teeth away. So on top we put the sweet onion sauce and the garlic chips. This one without any salt or pepper.
This one does take a little bit more chewing, but every bite coats my mouth with rich, beefy oiliness. And because it is really oily, this one small piece is enough for me.
For the marinade, we use the swan side of the Galbi marinade. So there is no soy sauce inside. This one is made with the pear, sesame oil, and salt. So this one has a very natural sweet. And cold water for the summer season. So I'm gonna put the meat on the ice like 3 times. Then the meat is shrink on the ice and it will cow, which means it smells bad and also it has a very strong texture. So our ancestors find this way to cook the beef very tender.
I think we went too heavy first. Yeah. So now it's like, well, more than 3, but we have a wagyu variety.
Yes.
And they have like a black Angus, which looks like a wagyu. But then there's like a brown.
Yeah.
So this one is already marinated, so only the pepper as well.
How can anyone not love Galbi? It's so tender, I barely had to choose. And the sweet, salty marinade brings out the beef's deep savoriness. And let's not forget how awesome that ice cooking technique was.
It's the apple mango from Jeju Island. So there is a few famous mango in the world, like Alfonso or the Miyazaki mango in Japan. But this one is harvested the same way as the Miyazaki.
And then back to the.
Yeah.
New Zealand's great. Just the natural beauty of the countryside and everything like that.
As someone who can't eat a lot of beef in one sitting, I really appreciate these palate cleansers in between. And this mango, easily one of the juiciest, sweetest ones I've had. Now that my palate is refreshed, back to more beef.
It's a European truffle.
So I can work in peace and so I don't feel rushed at all.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna do a couple day trips, but this is headquarters for now.
I love when beef is served raw. The soft al dente-like texture is so satisfying. The ponzu adds a tang, the truffle brings aroma, and the beef is just pure umami.
The first one is the outside skirt, and the below one is the hanger steak.
Perfectly though. That's great.
The hanger steak is beautifully seared with a crispy charred edge, while the center stays tender and rich with beefy flavor, along with the slightly gamey and mineral notes.
Any garnishes for it. So please feel the flavor of that.
The outside skirt is leaner and firmer, but it has a cleaner beef flavor and a slightly sweeter finish.
We went outside. Where did we go? We went to
Both the short rib patty and the cod have a very soft, almost mushy texture. And while the saikyo miso brushed on top adds a nice funky touch, overall it was a bit too salty for me. So far, this one didn't quite hit it for me.
And this part over here is the we call the jeonnipju in Korean. It started from the soldier's helmet. This wasabi root is from Shizuoka, Japan. And also this one is the wasabi leaf. We made a pickle with this one. This leaf is from Korea.
It's an hour difference, but like in Hong Kong, it's the same thing. Like different, like everything starts so slowly.
Yeah.
So like in Melbourne, if you're not open at 9 a.m., in construction, it's like I'm up at 5.
Yeah.
The short plate, as I said, is the cow's belly part.
The plate has a nice marbling fattiness with a strong beef richness, so the fresh wasabi's floor heat balanced it right out. Paired with the pickled wasabi leaf, it was interesting with a slight sourness, but I prefer with the wasabi more.
And also in Chinese words, gongchai, in Korean, gongchai.
It's nice to have some cooked veggies for a change, but this course feels a bit lackluster, and the ribeye required quite a bit of chewing.
And you've only got one week off on holiday?
Yeah, for the just sorry.
Just straight here and straight back home?
Yeah.
So you just don't have those little like
Italy. Italy.
yeah, so tomorrow we go to this spa.
How long were you there for?
Place for a
I
couple of
worked like 1.5 years.
nights. They have like dogs.
Any good Korean restaurants in London? Not really, right?
In London.
So we have 4 tours. So this is our third time going to Australia. Yeah, it was, I don't know how different it is in Canada. Our high school's from 12 years old to 18.
Ours is 4 grades, grade 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, so we go from grade 7.
But we don't have any like standardized exams after high school. We have EQAO.
In the US?
So this is the middle part of the loin. It's the most meaty and juicy part.
Yeah. We usually add Asian here. Is it like subtle sweetness?
Yeah, right. To the dough or to the
No, it just as like a garnish.
Okay.
yeah. For years, yeah. I mean, if you would do a master,
It smells like the sea.
it's crazy.
By now, my body is saying no more beef. But the lettuce wrap and warm rice makes this insanely fatty short rib surprisingly easy to enjoy. A little quick scallop break, much needed before more beef madness. The bulgogi is lean and firm, but quite satisfying after all the rich buttery cuts so far. I often enjoy pre-packed beef bone broth at home for a lazy meal, so this freshly made bowl really hits differently. It's such a heartwarming broth to wash away the richness and beautifully wrap up this course.
So I was in London, so I can guarantee this one is a good one.
So there's like an Australian, he's
Oh, I've been there. I went there back my first time in Seoul.
yeah, this place. Yeah, Chateaubriand.
You guys recommend?
This is my first time trying shepherd's pie, and I don't think I'm a fan. I did enjoy the flaky golden crust, but the filling isn't quite to my liking.
So we made a stock with the bone marrow, shanks, tail, brisket, a lot of beef inside, so for 3 days. So it's a very rich and thick. And also this one is one of our signature, so it's always on the menu.
Very surface. But I heard it's become very expensive.
Not the best, but definitely one of the better pho I've had. The broth has a nice deep beef flavor, but the signature spices I expect from a pho aren't as prominent. That said, the beef is better than almost any I've had in a bowl of pho.
So you can see the rib caps and the ribeye part.
Oh no, I would agree.
There's heaps of kids.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like it's a modern city. A little pockets of always in a very
Oh yeah. Hong Kong's like a busy city.
well, like
After
Singapore,
midday.
it's
Right.
go to Buttery, dry age for a month versus not.
Yeah, like the whole thing in Melbourne at the moment is like, oh yeah, like 30-day dry age,
Yeah.
90 days. I feel like the availability is so low that it's just like, if you want a premium, it's like, yeah, but this is what you'll get.
I just want to taste it. I could care less how long it's dry.
Okay, the less movement, the better.
And also this salt is a smoky salt.
Very, very tender with a perfect balance of meat and fat. It's rich in beef flavor with a delicious juicy butteriness. Even juicier and fattier. Beautifully sweet buttery beef flavor with a perfect crispy char on the edges. They definitely saved the best for last. Now, time to finish the meal with dessert.
Last one was just the most Have you been there already or not?
This is such a refreshing way to end this rich beef feast. Thank you, Born and Bred, for the lovely meal. Now it's time for my rating to see if it's worth the travel. Starting with the food, I do want to preface that I rarely eat beef, so I'm truly a beginner when it comes to this cuisine. That being said, I love the concept of Korean barbecue omakase because I got to enjoy so many different cuts of Hanwoo beef, various cooking methods, and different styles in which beef can be served. All the courses were yummy, with each beef cut having its own distinct taste and texture, all at high quality level. My favorites were the Galbi and rib cap, and it's always a bonus for me when a meal is also a learning experience, like the julep to history where army men used their metal hats for hot pot at night. So I rate the food a solid 4 out of 5. As for the service, the rounded counter is amazing, with every guest having a clear view of the chef's every move. The chef is talkative and friendly, and I love how he shares details about each ingredient, like how the special apple mango is from Jeju and the fresh wasabi is from Shizuoka, Japan. Not to mention his great storytelling, whether it's about the ice resting technique or the army metal helmet story. The service is definitely a 5. The restaurant is located in the Majang neighborhood, known for Korean barbecue and meat in general. However, as a visitor, there aren't many attractions or things to do around the area. You'll likely take a taxi there just for the meal, then either leave right after or walk around the nearby meat market. It's also about a 30-minute metro ride or a 10-minute taxi from major tourist areas, so I give the location a 4. The omakase is 380,000 Korean won, which is roughly $280, making it 3.2 for the price. The overall rating is 4.05, which makes it worth domestic travel. So if you're traveling within Korea, Born and Bred is worth the visit. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.